You've been in the shadows, now step in the light. Rediscover your voice, take back your name. You're not just a mom, your power, your flame. From tired to thriving, from silence to song. With YDC you belong. Let's start living, rise again. You are more than just a pain. Confident, bold, unashamed. Your discovery coach, remember the name. You're strong, you're seen, you're free to dream. YDC, 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 remember the name. Hey mama, you're more than enough. Hey mama, stand tall, you've given so much. You gave your all, now it's time to shine. You've been in the shadows, now step in the light. Rediscover your voice, take back your name. You're not just a mom, your power, your flame. From tired to thriving, from silence to song. With YDC you belong. Let's start living.
And yes, we are live on another Friday live. Let's start living. Hey, mamas, let's start living. Thank you so much for joining me on another Friday. Don't take your time for granted as always. And if you can see me and if you can hear me, just say hello to me in the comment section and I'll be saying hello right back at you. Let's start today. My name is Debbie. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Debbie and I'm the founder of Your Discovery Coach. I create safe spaces for women who feel invisible in their own life and want to reconnect with who they truly are. So if you've rested, in your life, you've obviously, everyone takes a break. If you've rested, you've taken breaks, and you've even stepped away for a while and you are still feeling tired, this conversation is for you because sometimes the tiredness isn't physical. Sometimes it's emotional, and rest alone does not touch it. Though this work is very close to my heart, I'm deeply passionate about helping women slow down enough to listen to what their emotions are saying instead of pushing through and calling it strength. So today we will be talking about why rest isn't working and what your emotions are trying to tell you. Why rest isn't working and what your emotions are trying to tell you. So you're here, you've rested, you've told yourself, okay, I've taken five. In fact, there are days you're like, okay, I'm going to have a lie-in, but you wake up and you're still very tired. Let's see. Let's struggle down together and see why, that tiredness still lingers. There's a problem here, and that problem is that you're resting, but it's not restoring you. So it's a rest, but that it doesn't bring any restoration to you, it's not the rest that fixes exhaustion. You hear people say, okay, sleep more, take a break, go for a walk, take a cold bath, and all that. But your body is still very, tensed. You're not feeling very relaxed. You're not feeling very rested. You go away for a weekend, you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to just shut down everything and rest. But somehow there's still this heaviness around you. I want us to listen. Everything I have mentioned helps the body, but that's not the kind of rest we're trying to deal with but that's not the type of rest that we're trying to deal with. Resting is good. Taking a break is good. Going away for a weekend is good. I would love to, especially just go away for a weekend. I love to do such things. Taking a break, having a bath, just, sitting down and telling yourself, okay, I'm going to have a power nap. Those things are good. But many women are not just tired in their bodies. They are tired in their inner world. They're tired in their inner world. So it's not just a bodily tiredness. It's not a tiredness from, I've had a long day. It's the tiredness from your inner architecture, your inner world. And that's where rest decides, I'm not working here. It's not about you sleeping more. The rest now says, no, you need to rest and listen to me. There's something you need to call to my attention. There's something I'm trying to call to your attention that you need to deal with. I'm not just talking about, the rest to say, okay, I'm not just talking about sitting down. I'm talking about deal with something about, something that has to do with how I am on the inside. Now you can rest your body and still feel heavy. You can pause activity and still feel overwhelmed because what you're carrying is not physical. A lot of times, what we're carrying is emotional. Sometimes it's even things like in a relationship, right? You're married, you're at home, and there are things that you can't talk about because good women don't talk. You don't want to nag, and you're suppressing emotions. You suppress your emotions around your partner, you suppress your emotions around your husband, you suppress your emotions even around your friends. And that thing becomes, that emotional weight now becomes such a big weight that you can't even feel rested when you sit down. So emotions that are not spoken about, they don't disappear. When you go to sleep, they're waiting for you. Sometimes they even delay your sleep. So you're trying to sleep, and in the next, you've laid down and you find out that your mind is wandering. It's 1 hour, 2 hours, you haven't fallen asleep. You're finding it difficult to sleep. You are thinking, you're finding it difficult to just shut down your mind. You're still going over conversations in your head you've had with people during the day, and then you're beginning to wonder, why can't I just rest? These things are emotional weights are very heavy. They're very heavy. They don't show up because you haven't slept. They show up even after sleeping. You wake up and then you're still thinking about what has gone on, or what you haven't said, or what could have been said, or why what was said, and all sorts of things. That's what that kind of rest does not address emotions. It only pauses the leak. So as you go and sleep, you're not addressing the emotions, you're only pausing the leak, and that does not also seal it. So let's see what your emotions are trying to tell you. Your emotions are not the problem. We've always said it here. They are messengers. Take it as data. Your emotions are not the problem. They are just data. They are messengers. There's something that the emotions are trying to say to you. So let's name a few ones. Let's name a few messages your emotions may be sending to you. If you feel irritated, something has been crossed. Something has been crossed or ignored. Some line has been crossed. Somebody has crossed the line, or something hasn't happened, the way you want it to happen. So you feel very irritable. For instance, if you feel numb, it's because you have felt that way too long without release. Maybe you have told somebody over and over again, this thing that you're doing, I really don't appreciate it. I don't like it. And then you realize the person is not listening to you. The person can't change. Maybe because the person just can't, not because the person doesn't want to change. The person might not even have the capacity to change, or the person is not doing it to annoy you, but that thing comes across as annoying to you. So after a while, you tell yourself, what's the point? You start to numb that feeling. You start to talk less about that thing that is upsetting you. You start to talk less about, the friction that it causes for you. You start to numb yourself. Numbing it doesn't also mean that it goes away. That's the interesting thing. It doesn't mean that it goes away. So when something has, you've tried to deal with something for as long as possible and it's not just going, it's because, you then start to numb the way you feel. If you feel overwhelmed, you may be carrying more than your system can hold alone. So you're doing so much as a mom. Mental tabs are open. You need to sign up this person for this program. You need to sign up this child for this club. You need to do this. You need to do that. So many mental tabs. Too much admin to be done, and you still have to do your own work. You still have to, care for yourself. You see, oh, so much. When you feel overwhelmed, you may be just be carrying more than your system can hold or alone. When you feel snappy, it could be that there's likely anger with no safe space to go to. When you feel so snappy, there's you're bottling it up on the inside of you, but there's no safe place for that, for you to go to, for you to express yourself, for you to, just pour out your heart the way you would love to. When you feel tired all the time, your inner world has too many open loops. Too many open loops. There was something I said in one of the lives. I said, at the end of the day, have one signal that says my day is ended. Say to yourself, say, I have done what I can do for today, and tomorrow is another day. You need to be able to shut down. You need to be like, turn off that light. My own symbolic end of days, when I turn off the light in the kitchen, I'm off that kitchen, I'm not coming back. But that symbolic turning off the lights, it could be anything, lighting a candle, whatever it is. But just that we've ended the day, we're not carrying anything to tomorrow. As they say, work doesn't finish. But that's when you have too many mental loops open, too many open tabs in your head, it drains you. You're not finishing anything. Everything seems like you had a to-do list, but you haven't ticked anything off it, because you're not able to, focus on one task at a time. And then that becomes too many open loops, and then it drains you. Your emotions are not asking you to become stronger. Your emotions are asking you to just listen. So when you feel overwhelmed, the advice is not do more, or just be more. The advice is listen to what that overwhelm is. Listen to what the demand of that overwhelm is saying. It's telling you something. It's telling you, you need to be able to, you need to calm down. You need to delegate. You need to, give more to other people to do. You need to finish one thing, because finishing one thing is actually is very, very powerful. When you finish one thing, there's a sense of satisfaction that comes, and there's a sense of self-trust that it builds for you. To close loops is such a powerful thing. Most women were never taught how to listen to themselves safely. So you start to feel bad. You start to judge yourself. You start to say, oh, am I not supposed to be stronger than this? You start to feel guilty. But those emotions are not there to make you feel guilty. Why am I snapping? Where do I need to release? What do I need to release at this time? What is causing me grief at this time? Ask questions. You can ask yourself questions. You don't have to carry that weight of, oh, okay, why am I tired all the time? What are the open loops in my life? Write them down. And that's why journaling again comes in. When you write down the things that are, the open loops, some unfinished conversation with someone, you can end it. Just write it. Write these things that are, flowing through your mind and causing open loops and making, energy to leak. So when emotions overwhelm you, when emotions make you feel, when you feel irritated, when you feel numb, when you feel snappy, ask questions. Take your journal, write down things that, are heavy for you, because these are very, very big leaks and make you not rested. So we're taught never how when we were never taught how to listen to ourselves, safely. You heard things like, why are you resting? Are you why are you sitting down? Push yourself, be the strong one. Sometimes it's not how you push yourself or how strong you are. A lot of times is that you're fighting against the tide. So there's a rhythm, a natural rhythm your body is built for. When you swim against the tide, you're constantly trying hard, but harder does not mean that you will produce results. Constantly trying hard, because you're not able to decode what the messages the emotions are trying to bring to you, so you're dealing with the wrong things. Don't override your emotions. A lot of times we were taught to override our emotions. We were taught to minimize it. Oh, I'm just tired, nothing much. Oh, I'll push through. Things like that. Say language like that. Oh, we push through. How are you doing? We're surviving. We're managing. We're pushing through. And every time you ignore an emotion, energy leaks. Every time you ignore an emotion. Good afternoon. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us. Every time you ignore an emotion, energy leaks. So what are the hidden energies? Hidden leaks that rest cannot fix? Unprocessed emotions. That's a very big one. When you have emotions that you haven't processed, when you have emotions that you don't know why they're there, you don't understand why, you don't understand why some things are. You've not yet built the internal architecture to, let things go, just I'm not saying, be that strong person, but everybody's on a journey. Everybody's on a journey. We can't all be on the same emotional wavelength as the next person. But unprocessed emotions, things that you don't have the space to feel, become leaks that rest cannot fix. when you're in a relationship, when you're, in the house with your husband, and you're not able to express yourself, because good women don't nag, good women don't, good women, suck it up, they drink it all in, they keep quiet, and you're not able to express how you really feel. That causes a leak. You don't understand why, you don't understand why, the resentment in your heart just begins to builds, and you're wondering, why am I feeling this way towards my children? Why am I feeling this way towards the house? Why am I feeling this way towards, the people around me? Unprocessed emotions. Every time you're feeling in a very funny type of way, I encourage you to take a journal. Even if you cannot tell the person, if the person is your husband and you've had conversations with him over and over again and it's not making a headway, I have a journal I call God and Me journal. I just pour it out, write it down. Don't be afraid that, oh, somebody sees it, but write it down. And don't let in that process of writing, let your emotions be. There's it's not a question of right and wrong. If you've not been able to, get to that level that you're able to deal with something, it is what it is. At the level that you are, you would need to process whatever emotions that come to you. So you need to be able to have places. I mean, you need to have a space where you are allowed to feel, because when you are never allowed to feel, it causes a leak for you. Mental overload, we've talked about this over and over again. When your mind never switches off, when you're constantly thinking of something. I was reading something over the weekend, and the person gave an encouragement that on Sunday, do nothing. Just turn off your phone, turn off everything, and be present with your children. And I know, and I laughed because I was like, oh, that's hard. Even me, as I was reading it, I was like, that's hard. But he said that's how he gets by. That's how he gets by. He says, because at the end of the day, there's only so much you can carry as a human. So strip down everything. I know on Sundays I have times, I don't do it all day, but I have times where I just leave my phone in the office and I'm like, no, 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 no. This thing has a way of even adding to your mental overload. So find time in your day to just shut down. You find something in your day to signify that I have ended for today. The way people sign out from the office when they are in a physical office, sign out, close the kitchen, turn off the light, tell yourself that this part of the house will not be used at this time of the day because we have shut down. This is now time for reflection. When we shut down the kitchen, we go into either the living room, no, sorry, in the bedroom, and I tell them, let every other light be off. A sense of serenity. And then when they start to play, I say, this is not playtime. Demarcate your day. Teach your children to understand that it's not every time that is playtime. And I say, the little one is very hyper. When she starts to play, I say, this is not playtime. She might not understand the real meaning of reflection, but she needs to be able to and sit down with me and reflect. Her reflection is usually through drawing, but sit down. Mental overload has a way of draining your energy. So sit down. You don't have to finish everything that day, every single thing. I know people who are so, when you meet them, the energy emitting from them is so high because there's always constantly something. You will need to learn to slow your day down, even if it's because you have small children. Teach them that at 7 o'clock we sit down together, we talk about our day, we journal. I know you don't know how to journal, so you take a pen and scribble. No running around. With time, they get used to it. They get used to it. They get used to the systems that you put around them. But make sure you have that time where you are offloading for the day. Don't go to bed with, even if a task is unfinished, cancel it on your to-do list. Come back tomorrow and write it again. It's something it does for your thinking and for your brain. Even if you have this long to-do list, you had 3 things, you didn't do the 3 things, you did only one, cancel the 3. Say for today, these 3 have ended. Tomorrow, come back and write it again. It signals to your brain that we have closed, though. Your brain is not closing, don't get me wrong. But it signals to your brain that the day has ended. Let's calm down. Turn down the lights. Use less lights in the evening. These are just little tips. Turn it down. Don't let your don't let your evening be like floodlight, because then it tells you that I need to be alert, I need to be awake. So have your dim light. If you're fancy and you like nice things, have a scent, have a fragrance, have a candle. These are little ways. Just shut it down. Physical. I'm talking of physically crossing it out. Tomorrow we handle this. Tonight we sleep. Start to speak to your brain. Self pressure. Self pressure is that constant inner voice evaluating you. And a lot of times it comes from our childhood. That evaluation that we give ourselves, that thing that tells you that I'm not good enough, I need to try harder. Oh, okay, you've read 5 pages, only 5 pages. Have you told yourself that other people are reading 4 books in a month, you're reading 5 pages, and you are happy? Don't minimize your successes and your wins. Don't minimize it. Don't minimize your successes and your wins, because every time you come there to do your journaling, to do your reading, you are building a trust in yourself, self trust. You're stacking up wins that gives your brain something to say, we've done it before, we can do it again. So don't minimize your wins. Don't minimize your don't minimize your silent victories. Loud it. Let your brain hear, because sometimes your brain is looking for things that are wrong. So your self-evaluation, what is your self-evaluation like? What's the self-pressure that you put on yourself? You tell yourself, I need to read, I need to do certain things by certain time, but you know you haven't built the capacity for it. That's self-pressure. I would rather you focus on building capacity and start small than starting lofty goals. Now, 2026 has we've had 16 days in 2026. 2026 has started, and people, you've looked at your goals. I'd rather you start, with small goals and build depth than build, your goals are so lofty, and then when you cannot then attain it, you start to feel guilty and you start to feel pressured. What are the unexpressed resentments in your heart? That's another mighty hidden leak that causes you unrest, that doesn't help you rest. What are the hidden unexpressed resentments? I was reading something over the weekend, still the same book, and it was saying, try as much as you can, eradicate criticism from your life as much as you can. Because when you are not happy, when you're not thankful, when you criticize, it's just something that you can't grow. It's just something that keeps leaking you. You don't understand why you're in learning spaces. You don't understand why you don't understand why you're in learning spaces, but you're not growing and things like that. It's these little things. Unexpressed resentment, critical about everything, critical about every situation. Even when somebody drives rough behind you, you have no power. It's outside the locus of your control, right? But you still stress over somebody else's driving. Try and keep your criticism very low. It will help you. It will help you, especially when you're the one holding everything together. I know for a lot of women, you're the one holding everything together. It feels like you're doing all the work, this silent labor, this invisible labor. Nobody is giving you promotion, nobody's no leave, no surrender. We are here, barracks is always open, that kind of thing. When you start to feel that, unexpressed resentment, take your journal again, write it. This is how I feel. If you don't have anyone to sincerely, speak with, you cannot talk to your husband how you feel, make sure you're not harboring it on the inside of you, because these are what causes hidden leaks. Sorry. Another thing that can cause you hidden leaks is identity loss. When you are the one who has been when who you are, sorry, has been buried under who you serve. So you are the mom, your mom, that's your name. When your role starts to bury who you really are, can cause you leaks, because you don't understand, these little things. Mom, every second, mommy, 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 mommy. Then you don't understand why you're feeling heavy, constantly heavy, because you know that, okay, this is it feels like, oh, there should be more to life than this, right? It starts to feel that way. It starts to feel that way. You cannot sleep these things away. You cannot holiday them away. You cannot go on holiday and say, I'm just going to, be all right. They need expression and not suppression. They need space and not silence. So when you are feeling these emotions, right, you need to be able to express yourself. You need to be able to express yourself. You need to be able to, speak. You need to be able to dig deep to the root causes of these things, because these things are just symptoms. There's something happening on the inside of you. There's something that has happened, whether in your childhood or whatever it is. There's something happening on the inside of you that these are just the expressions of them. And that's why, as women, many and that's why and that is where sorry and that is where many women get stuck. Many women get stuck because that kind of space is not existent for them. Many women get stuck because they think that something is wrong with them, because rest didn't fix what, all these leaks. They start to feel very uneasy. You start to try and look for what's wrong with you. You start to start believing that there's something wrong with you. But there's nothing wrong with you. You just need a different kind of space. Not a space where you perform, not a space where you need to explain yourself, not a space where you rush healing. The kind of space that you need is a creative, emotionally safe space, because creativity allows emotion to move. When emotions move, they stop leaking. When emotions move, they stop leaking. When that thing that is lodged, you know how sometimes you have something in your chest for a long time and you just speak to somebody about it, maybe somebody who is older and wiser, who gives you proper counsel, and you just speak to someone and then you're like, I feel lighter because emotions have moved. Talking about it has moved it. So you start to feel lighter. You say, oh, I actually feel very good when I talk to you. Thank you so much, because emotions have shifted. Emotions have shifted. So things like I've said a lot in this past 27 minutes. I've said a lot about writing, I've said about reflecting, I've said about naming, I've said about reconnecting. Reconnect to yourself. Reconnect to yourself in the evening. Find a way to reconnect back to yourself. Find a way to ask yourself, process your day. What went, and when you just live your life without introspection, without reflection, you don't understand how you are piling up things, for your mind. You're piling up those things for your mind. And then after a while, you don't understand why you're feeling heavy. You just notice that, oh, I'm too heavy, because you have never really sat down to process what is going on day by day with you. So reconnecting, naming, reflecting, writing, and that's how your inner repair begins. And that's where I would love to talk about our Becoming Her program. I'm going to round up in the next 2 minutes. Don't worry, it's a 30-minute live. Our Friday lives will be not more than 30 to 45 minutes on the max. But today we're going to just run for 30 minutes. And that's where I want to talk to you about our program Becoming Her, starting on in the first week of February. It's a guided creative space for women who are tired of coping and ready to understand themselves again. In this space, we slow down safely. We give language to emotions that are buried in there. You may not know that they exist. You may have ignored them. I talked about numbing. When you numb your feelings too long, when you don't even understand that your story carries weight. Your story carries a weight. Your story carries something for some. You don't understand your heaviness. Our Becoming Her program helps you to unburden that heaviness. We help you to deal with root causes and not just the symptoms. And we start to rebuild identity safely, gently, not by dragging, not, it's just that gentle, safe space. You're not coming here to be fixed. It's not a space for you to be fixed. It's a space for you to come and be heard. We will listen to your stories. We will listen to your, things that have been in your mind for years that you don't even know, that are part of the things causing the heaviness and causing you to lack rest. And you're not going to be doing that alone, because healing speeds up in a community. It's not about becoming someone new, it's about returning home to yourself, that person you are, that vibrant, happy person, right? Before the world told you how to behave, before the world told you how to sit down, before the world told you that, this is how adults do. No, that child, that inner child, again, let's bring that inner child out. So if rest isn't working for you anymore, it's not because you are broken. I say that one more time. It's because your emotions are trying to tell you something, and you get to choose what you do with that message. You have a choice what to do with that message. You can keep leaking quietly, which I hope you would not, or you can choose repair. So if you're ready for a guided creative space to deal with the root causes of your exhaustion, I want to invite you once again to join us in Becoming Her. The link is on our bio of this live. And thank you so much once again on another Friday. I don't take your time for granted. And I really do enjoy coming here on a Friday to have these conversations with us. Thank you, and do have an amazing day.